Today is June 21st, and as usual, I'll take a look at the new items on Halo Infinite Store and determine whether or not they're worth your money. So how's it going, Magpies? I'm Magpie Leon, and let's jump straight in. Before I talk about the shop, I of course need to cover this week's ultimate reward. You get the Spring helmet attachment for the Mirage helmet. This is the default helmet on the armor core that is in the battle pass. It's the free one. It's a decent enough ultimate reward. It makes your helmet stand out a little bit more. It's by no means the best and is a very basic attachment, but I do kind of like it, and I think it is definitely worth it if you use this armor core. Anyway, let's go over the shop. Now, this week isn't necessarily terrible in terms of pricing. However, we're only a few weeks into this season. I mean, we're about like 2 months into it now, and we've already started seeing repeats. With the lack of a daily bundle too, this is very disappointing. We have 4 bundles today, 3 of which are new. 1 of them isn't even a bundle, it's just an individual item. Still no daily bundles, and 1 is a repeat. We'll cover the repeat first, since it's one I've spoke about before, and this is the Warmaster Armor Set. It's unfortunate that this is the big bundle this week, but it is one we've already seen. You get the Warmaster helmet, the blue ash armor coating, you get the helmet attachment for the Warmaster, you get a chest piece, you get some shoulder pads, you get some gloves, you get a wrist attachment, and you get the Fireteam Grizzly emblem. Now, this armor set for 1,200 is pretty solid, and I would say it is worth it for that price. I do think there's a few things that could be included to make it better. I think there should be a visor, and the fact that there isn't is a little bit disappointing. It would have been nice to have some sort of blue or silver visor to go with the coating. But overall, for 1.2k, it's a solid enough bundle, and if you want some armor for your Spartan, if you want a pretty solid helmet, I like all the stuff that's here. The chest piece is decent. It's a bit too bulky for my taste, but I do like it. The shoulder pads are nice enough. The gloves are fine. The wrist attachment is it's a pretty nice wrist attachment. Overall, a solid bundle, and I'd definitely say it's worth 1.2k. Next, we'll cover the first of the new things this week, and that is the individual item. It is the Big Galoot weapon charm. It's the Swole Master Chief. It's a little Master Chief weapon charm with an extremely large body and a very tiny head. It's quite fun, it's quite a novelty item, but for 300 credits, I think that's definitely overstretching it a bit. The Forky one the other week was only 200, and then last week we had a bundle where you got a weapon charm and emblems for 200, and this one costs more. And although it's funny and is probably a better weapon charm, I wouldn't necessarily say that means it's worth more than a bundle that contained more. I do not think this is worth 300 on its own. I think that's asking for a bit much there. Of course, you can use it on all your weapons, but I think there should be 200, not 300. Next up, we have the Vampiric Touch bundle. This costs 400 credits and gives you 6 items. You get the Vampire Mirage armor coating, which looks really nice. It's red, gold, and silver. It looks pretty sweet. I like how it sort of looks a bit dirty, looks a bit grimy. I like that. You also get the Velvet gloves. These are okay, more gloves, you know, I won't complain. You also get the Lumu Whisper nameplate, and you also get this as an emblem for your vehicle's weapons and armor. For 400, this is a decent enough bundle. The gloves are decent, and it's a nice coating. When cross-core comes out, this will look sick on some of the other cores. But for 400, this is a pretty solid bundle, and you can't really go wrong here. I do think it could maybe include a bit more, but I'm not going to complain too much, as overall, this is decent enough. That's basically 200 credits for the coating, 200 credits for the gloves. Last but not least, we have the Shimmering Stalker bundle. This contains 9 items and costs 800 credits. You get the Shimmering Blush armor coating for the new core, for the Rakasha one. I keep pronouncing that wrong, Rakasha. I'm probably never going to get that right. It's like sort of a pink and blue, pink and purple armor coating. It looks nice. It's quite bright. I do kind of like it. It stands out. You also get some shoulder pads here. Not sure how I feel on these shoulder pads. They're definitely a bit weird. You also get a chest piece, and you get a wrist attachment, as well as the Emerald Nightmare nameplate. The nameplate itself is decent, and I like all the pieces of armor here. The chest piece is okay. It's very simple, but again, I kind of like it. I do actually like the wrist attachment here. It stands out. I like how it's still got that scrap metal look going on. Everything here is fine. But the question is it worth 800 credits? And personally, I don't really know. For 400 more, you can get Warmaster, but the only things that this doesn't really have that Warmaster does is like a helmet and stuff like that. So I guess it depends on what you necessarily value. I do think 800 is stretching it a little bit. I think 600 would be much fairer. I know it's only 200 less, but I think 600 would be a much fairer asking price. But 800 isn't a terrible price point, and I can understand the appeal. Like I say, everything that's here is decent enough. You do get some decent stuff for the new core. I think if it had a helmet, then it could push up to that 1,000 credit mark. But what's here, I don't know if I'd necessarily say that's worth 800. So on this one, I really do think that's sort of up to you. But anyway, that's everything on the shop this week. Another very, very disappointing week. The prices have been getting worse, and then now we get repeats. So It's just in such a terrible place, and I hope 343 really start making some changes to it. Anyway, let me know what you think of the shop down in the comments, what you're thinking of the stuff this week. What are your thoughts on the new bundles? What are your thoughts on the fact that it's repeats? If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you're new here. I'm aiming for 1,000 subs by the end of the year, and I think that's an achievable goal. Cheers again, folks, and I'll catch you all in the next one.